The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, horror fans, and welcome to episode 351 of Frightmares. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for 2022's Smile is Spencer Lafferman.
Hello.
Just like Gabby, so excited to be here.
I am excited. Gosh.
So excited. Get ready for nightmares and trauma for this episode.
All the trauma.
Oh my God, so much trauma. Oh, Christ. Yeah, I'm going to spend most of my time talking about the themes and the symbolism and subtext and stuff because I literally love this movie so much. I find it hard sometimes to talk up like movies I love. Like, I find it hard to talk about them and like what I liked when I liked everything.
Right.
It's like, what did you like? All of it?
Right. Done. Podcast done.
All right. Podcast over. 5 minutes.
Easy.
So... yeah, I remember seeing this in Dolby. I'm pretty sure you were there. I know Gabby was there.
Did we see? Yeah, we saw this one together.
I feel like we did, and I just remember, oh my God, the first time I watched this, just being in utter amazement, disbelief, and it's very traumatic. But it's so weird because this is another one of those movies, much like As Above, So Below, much like another movie we've covered already this year The Invisible Man, that I weirdly find comforting, probably because I have like trauma bonded with the movie, because that's the thing. Trauma bonding is a real thing, and I feel like I've done that with this movie because I'll put this on to be like, I need to be comforted. Let me watch Smile.
Hey, I mean, some people's comfort movie is one of the Terrifier movies, so like,
yeah, that's fair.
You know, I mean, that's a different type of trauma.
At least those are funny, you know, but
like,
there's nothing funny about this.
Right. Well, I mean, you can nervous laugh, I suppose.
No, there actually is one moment that is my favorite line, which we will get to, that I laugh every time. But other than that, I'm not really laughing at this movie. It's very serious, and fucking Parker Finn, dream guest, because this is his very first full-length movie he ever did. What a way to come out into the scene with this, and
right.
then follow it up with Smile 2, which everyone loves more. Hard disagree on that. We'll get to that though there. So yeah, history with this movie is very boring. I can tell you how many times I've watched this though, because
1 million times.
1 million. So since this release in 2022, watched this movie 14 times.
Wow.
So 2022, 3, 4, and this year. So, I mean, I guess we can count this year. It's December at this point.
And you definitely watched it.
So, yeah, about four times a year at least, which is crazy.
I've only seen it 3 times since its release.
Oh, my God. This is a movie I genuinely could have just filled out my formula without even watching it.
Right.
But I love it so much, so of course I rewatched it.
It's been about a year or so since I watched it, so I figured I'd give it another go.
Let's see. Since I last watched it, it has been
2 days.
Oh, wow. This is the first time I've watched it this year.
Nice.
Wow.
Look at you go.
And I got to make sure I get my once-a-year viewing of Hereditary in, because I had in my calendar Hereditary Day, because I'd watched it on the same day 2 years in a row, and I missed it this year. So I got to make sure I get my yearly Hereditary
Just
in.
watch that on Christmas. It's fine.
Oh, that's the perfect family movie. Just throw it on while we're opening presents.
I mean, yeah.
It's my head in a box.
Talk about trauma bonding.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So we will get to that review momentarily, but as always, before we do that, we got to do this. Getting to the end of the year here, talking about what did Jason Hill make me watch. This week, it was a movie called Hellblazers from 2022. Not to be confused with Hellbender. Maybe. Hellbender. I don't know. I thought it was Hellbender, but it's Hellblazers. The summary is a satanic cult focused on unleashing hell on Earth, conjure a demon, and set it to task of feeding it to the populace of a nearby southwestern town. So fun. Love the I didn't even read the premise, though, since I didn't know, or I thought I knew what the movie was. Thought it was Hellbender. That's like witches. Listen to this cast, though, because what the fuck is happening? Tony Todd. Adrienne Barbeau, she was the radio host in John Carpenter's The Fog. No, The Fog?
Yeah?
Yeah, The Fog.
Yeah.
Okay, it's right behind me. Bruce Dern, Meg Foster, who I know from Alligator, I'm pretty sure, the spicy redhead. Let me make sure I'm thinking of the lady from Alligator, the Louis Teague 1980. Oh, no, that's Robin Riker. Excuse me. Fucking sorry. Courtney Gaines, who played one of the kids in Children of the Corn, John Cassier, and Billy Zane. The fuck is happening?
What year was this?
2022.
Wow.
Now, a lot of them are very small roles, but whatever. I don't care.
But they're still there.
I don't care. They're still there. So
Right.
that was crazy. I'm not shocked, though, that Jason picked this because it is a small town horror movie, and he loves those a lot, as do I. Great opening scene. However, the title sequence, in my opinion, was a mess. It felt very cheap and like it was from the 90s. Overall, it's a fun movie. It's got really good practical effects. I loved the cult vibes, and the acting was pretty good as well. It's also pretty funny. Bruce Dern is hilarious. Focuses in on like this new sheriff in town. He's from the big city, and everyone reminds him that he's from the big city. And all hell breaks loose when you get a cult and you get a big demon monster. But they don't really explain much, you know? It's just kind of like...
It's there.
It's there. But there is either mid-credits or, after-credits scene with one of the characters who did the summoning, so make sure you stay around for that because it kind of sets it up more. I totally feel like Billy Zane was tapping into his character from Night of the Demon, Demon Knight in this, especially with how the mid-credit scene goes. It's a lot of fun. Also, random tangent, Letterboxd asked, or somebody asked Billy Zane what his favorite top 10 horror movies were. Demon Knight was on there.
That was Letterboxd, yeah.
Yeah, Demon Knight was on there.
Of course.
I commented, I was like, having your own movie on there is the most boss move ever. Plus,
Right.
Demon Knight is a goddamn fucking masterpiece.
I mean, sometimes you're just in masterpiece movies. Like
Nothing beats, though. Oh my God, there was a director that they were asking his top 4 at like a, on the red carpet, and like 2 out of 4 were, I think it was maybe Nolan, like 2 out of the 4 were his movies. I'm like, you fucking son of a bitch. I get it, but anyways, has a rating of a 2.5 out of 5. Jason gave it a 2.5 out of 5. His review is, Bruce Dern was nominated for an Oscar in 2013, did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in 2019, then Hellblazers in 2022. That's upward mobility. My rating is a 3 out of 5. As per usual with Jason and I, the half-star difference is there. It is streaming on Prime, so go check it out. It's just a fun movie. Like, it's not winning any awards, but it's definitely not bad at all. I mean, they rely very little on CG. I think there are some explosions that have some, like, CG enhancement, but other than that, big old practical demon and a lot of blood and carnage. So that is a fun one. What do you have to say about it, Jason?
Jason says, check it out. You'll probably hate it.
You might hate it, you might love it. That's the gamble with these movies because, just because I like it doesn't mean you will like it, but that's okay. That's what I love about movies. Let's talk about some Oscar winners and highest grossing movies of the year. I can't believe we only have 2022, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 4 times left. But I guess 2025, we're not going to be talking about Oscars because they're not going to be done yet. So we'll be doing predictions probably. But
Right.
the highest grossing movie of that year, 2022, goes to Avatar, The Way of the Water, $2.3 billion. And the highest grossing horror movie, the movie we're talking about today, Smile,
Nice.
bringing in $217.4 million, beating out Halloween Ends, which is kind of shocking because that trilogy brought in a lot of
Right.
money.
Also, Halloween in general has had a following for over 50 years.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. It beat out that. This is the 95th Academy Awards presented on Sunday, March 12th, 2023. Honoring movies released in 2022. Best Actor. This is the year of comebacks, right?
Right. It really was.
It really was. Best Actor to Brendan Fraser for The Whale. Now, I know it's controversial. A lot of people don't like the putting a guy in a fat suit, and I get it, but nonetheless, I'm glad he got it because this was like
Right. Like his performance was great. The movie wasn't amazing, but it was decent enough. It was his performance that made the movie worth watching.
Right. So, actor in a supporting role goes to Ki Hugh Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, someone who hasn't been around in so long. Best actress goes to Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Actress in a supporting role, Jamie Lee Curtis. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, that movie swept the Oscars.
I did not realize. I forgot how it took so much.
Yeah, I did. It's a great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. Cinematography goes to James Friend for All Quiet on the Western Front. Director goes to Daniel Kwan and Daniel Schneinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Score goes to Volker Bertelmann, All Quiet on the Western Front. And if you couldn't guess it by now, Best Picture goes to Everything Everywhere All at Once. What? Summary: a middle-aged Chinese immigrant is swept up in an insane adventure in which she alone can save existence by exploring other universes, connecting with the lives she could have led. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about this movie or even how to describe it if you've never seen it.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough to describe if you've never seen it for sure.
I mean, all I can say is bagels, bro. Fucking bagels. The nexus of the universe. But yeah, it's just a movie I can't explain, but you just have to go watch it if you haven't seen it. It's got a 4.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which if you're on Letterboxd, you know that is a wildly good rating. It has the most ratings it has are 5 stars. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 because no matter if it's a time travel movie, if it's multiverse movies, it doesn't get that 5th star because I'm never gonna fucking understand it. Like,
that's fair.
I have to have like Nolan's movies. I don't think I've ever given, except for The Dark Knight, them 5 because I'm like, I'm never gonna fully understand these, and it makes me feel dumb. So, my review. This is one of my favorite reviews I've done in a while. I bet things get really kinky in that hot dog finger universe. That's a
good one.
That's a good one. Streaming on Plex for a rental, so go check it out if you haven't, or just go buy it from A24 or wherever you get your physical media. Let's do this IMDb roundup and get on to the movie. Bam! Smile, obviously, from 2022, released on September 30th of that year in the US, rated R for strong violent content and grisly images and language. No sex and nudity, severe violence and gore, severe profanity, mild alcohol, drugs, and smoking, those quarter glasses of wine that Rose was drinking, and severe frightening and intense scenes. Runtime of 1 hour and 55 minutes, listed as a horror mystery thriller, directed by Parker Fenn, like I said before, literally his first full-length feature. He also did Smile 2, of course, and same thing goes for the writing. It was done by Parker Fenn, and besides the short movie that inspired Smile, he really hasn't done much. Composed by Cristobal Tapia de Veer, who also composed Smile 2. Cinematography by Charlie Saroff, who also did the cinematography for Relic 2020, Night Swim, and Smile 2. And then Elliot Greenberg, yet again, much like Benjamin Wallfish, who's been all over this year, Elliot Greenberg makes his return because he also edited Quarantine, As Above, So Below, and Crawl. Starring Sosie Bacon as Rose Cotter, who's also in 11 episodes of 13 Reasons Why as Sky Miller. She's also Kevin Bacon's daughter. This is the first thing I've ever seen her in. I don't know. She's just not in my...
That was the first thing I've seen her in, too.
Yeah. Kyle Gallner as Joel, who is literally everywhere now, but I need everyone to remember he was also in Jennifer's Body as Colin Gray, okay? Playing a little punk emo kid. Love him in that role. Jesse T. Usher as Trevor. He is probably most known for the 40 episodes of The Boys as A-Train / Reggie Franklin. Robin Weigert as Dr. Madeline Northcott, who is also in 30 episodes of Deadwood as Calamity Jane. I put her in here even though she's not technically a star, but Caitlin Stacey as Laura Weaver. She was also in Fear Inc. as Lindsay Gaines, which you made me watch, I think.
Yeah, and because it's awesome.
Because it's like so good, but it's not. It's weird. I loved it. Like, don't get me wrong.
I love it too.
But it was almost like It's this weird line of like, this is a bad movie, but no, it's so much fun.
Right. It's definitely a fun, low budget movie.
It's a fun time.
Yes.
But I put her in here because she was in the short film, There's Something Wrong with Laura, I believe, that inspired Smile. And of course, she is the person in the cold open. And then we've got Cal Penn as Dr. Morgan Desai, who everybody should know as Kumar. What a fucking just arc for him. Making dick jokes to be in a, you know...
Well, I mean, he made it a real life arc. He went from making dick jokes to being in the, like, to being close to the president, like, in real life. I know. And then, yeah, like, this man's crazy. He's everywhere.
I just hope his father is proud, okay? His
right.
father always wanted him to become a doctor in Harold and Kumar.
And now he's finally a doctor.
Now he's, like, lead fucking guy.
Right.
So, estimated budget of $17 million, which is nuts for your first full-length movie. And like I said, worldwide box office gross of $217.4 million. It made $200 million. It made $200 million. No wonder there's a sequel and talks of more. Filmed in Jersey City, New Jersey. Random place. You can watch this on Paramount Plus. Movies that came out around the same time. Barbarian, Clerks 3, Pearl, The Woman King, Don't Worry Darling, Bros, Terrifier 2, Amsterdam is another movie. Amsterdam. We've already covered that on this show. Halloween Ends, Black Adam, Pray for the Devil, and Tar. IMDb summary. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, a psychiatrist becomes increasingly convinced she is being threatened by an uncanny entity. This is Smile.
What is it you like to talk about?
My patient. Hi. I know you're nervous. I just want to have a chat.
I'm seeing something no one else can see except for me. It's smiling at me. Oh my God!
Yesterday, a patient in your care died brutally in front of you.
I need to find an explanation for what happened.
It's smiling at me. It's smiling at me.
You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to die!
I found 20 cases involving 19 victims with a direct line linking them all together.
You said only 19. Why is it that everybody else who's seen it is dead and you're alive? I've seen it too.
You?
Get away from me! How long between each victim's death?
None of them survived longer than a week.
Rose!
Today's my 4th day. I am not gonna keep running. I have to face it.
How does it make you feel?
I'm just really scared that something bad is going to happen. Rose.
So, Spencer.
Yes.
So. What are your overall thoughts on Smile?
I liked it. No,
Every time.
I gotta do it.
Fucking time.
No, my gabs were flabbered when I watched
Your
it.
flabbers were gasted.
That one too.
My gabs were flabbered.
Yeah, that one. No, but yeah, I remember watching it with you, and by the time it was over, the only words that literally came out of my mouth were like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, that happens a lot, but like...
Not in this way.
Like, not in this way. This was definitely... If I wasn't going to call this movie Smile, I definitely would have called it Trauma, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, everything was good. I mean, even the girl in the beginning who
Yeah.
For like 5 minutes everybody was believable in their roles.
Yeah, everyone did great. I didn't write down overall thoughts, crazy enough, because even though I said I could fill this out without watching the movie, I could probably come up with some overall thoughts. I don't know. The trauma. That's all I'm going to say. This movie is so goddamn good. It was polarizing, from the cinematography to the eerie score to the performances to the premise itself. I mean, this movie rocked my fucking world when I saw it in theaters, and even on the last watch, I was like, this is gonna stand the test of time.
Yeah,
it
like
really
I
is.
literally just rewatched it last night for the podcast, and I'm just, it doesn't get old. I wasn't bored. I almost
so good.
immediately wanted to watch the second one, but I'm like, it is 4 a.m. I don't know if the second one's nearly a 4 a.m. movie.
Yeah, so
I mean, would I have probably watched it? Sure. But I was like, maybe I'll watch it tonight. But like, both of them together, I think, is way too much trauma.
Yeah,
for
one
thing.
Gotta separate some of that.
But and I think the reason why I like it so much, what I'm so attached to with it, is it reminds me a lot of, premise wise, not the actual movie itself, but just loosely premise wise, It Follows.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of notes about that.
Right. So and It Follows to me is a 5 out of 5. I absolutely love It Follows.
Yeah, apparently Micah Monroe has read the script for They Follow, and it's apparently really good.
I'm pretty excited. Not a movie I ever thought I wanted, but if she likes it,
I'm
on board.
Yeah, and is excited about it. You can do so much.
Right, you really can.
With how they... no spoilers. I don't think we've covered that one. I might have to do that one next year.
Nice.
Yeah, with how they left it, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like the ending of Smile, too. God, the possibilities.
Right. But I think that's why this connected with me so much.
Particularly,
yeah. I mean, obviously this was different in the way everything else was handled, and obviously I'm not going to say a lot because I don't want to spoil It Follows.
Yeah.
But like, I guess loosely premised, but like the way they did that with everything else that they did in this, with the acting, with the whole, just some of the conversations that were done in the beginning felt just, and Smile, I mean,
yeah,
they had just felt like, at first you're just like, okay, there's just a conversation between people, but by the time the movie ended, you realize, okay, this movie actually somehow went full circle with 3 minutes of dialogue that didn't feel like it mattered at all.
Oh my God. And a lot of my notes are, like I said, we're going to be talking about themes and kind of underlying things rather than what I liked, because there's only one thing I didn't like, and we'll get to that. We got to get to the end though.
Yeah.
So opening scene, I was... Even watching it this time, the second the Paramount logo comes up and it has that ominous chord strike, I'm already like, fuck. I remember when we saw that in theaters and it was like, when it comes in, I'm like, I already don't like this. And if I'm uncomfortable in the fucking production company's logo, that doesn't happen very often. It's very rare when 5 seconds into the movie, I'm like, oh, this is gonna rock, isn't it? So... it's extremely eerie, and I got an immense feeling of dread quickly. Also, tangent, fucking A+ on the casting of Sosie Bacon's younger self. That was like some of the most perfect casting. Anyways, I mean, this has got to be one of the most horrific openings to a horror movie. I put this up there with the Evil Dead 2013 opening, because that one's more just balls to the wall metal. This one is so much more psychological, because... I mean, you start with Rose seeing her mom dead from an overdose, and the camera, the cinematography in this movie is so fucking beautiful. It starts with like I call it the Flanagan tilt, where Flanagan will pull in on like a close-up and then tilt sideways.
Yeah.
This does it backwards. The camera's sideways, and then they pan out, or then they come back and then go around to Sosie Bacon's character, Rose. And so that's how the movie starts. You're like, all right, so that's Rose. She has seen her mom die from an overdose, and now she's a therapist. Wow. That was a really easy connection right there. Got that. So they established that she is someone who dealt with trauma from a very young age, dealing with other people's traumas, because she's just like a therapist. I don't really know if they put a exact title on her job, but I
would say she's some
sort of
psychological therapist,
something like that. So So yeah, I couldn't imagine witnessing that in my life, like seeing my parents dead at any age, but let alone that young. I mean, that gets into you. So it's like Dexter, it gets into you so young, and you're going to carry that with you for the rest of your life if you don't figure out a way to let go of that, which Rose clearly in this movie does not figure out how to let go of that. But I think it's very poetic that she goes into the therapy field of work. It makes sense though at the end of the day. But then, of course, Laura comes in and screaming and yelling from the ambulance, and she's talking to Rose, and she's like, I'm seeing things that aren't there. And I think this is the most important, one of the most important scenes in the movie, especially for setting up the story, because Laura is explaining seeing things that aren't there. Rose probably hears that on a literal daily basis from people who are having hallucinations, paranoia, people that actually have schizophrenia or something. So this is something that she's heard, and she's like, are you, just kind of trying to talk her down because you're just seeing things that aren't real. But of course, this is a little bit different because she has a manic episode and then cuts her throat. I mean, she starts at like her cheek, and then she just goes down her neck and cuts her throat in front of Rose, who obviously... that would traumatize me too. So really my kind of theory here is I think she put a lot of separation between what happened to her mom and where she is now. But I feel like seeing someone actually take their life in front of you really reignited that trauma.
Oh, absolutely.
Like really reignited it. And that's what, of course, the monster feeds on. And the camera does this, again, beautiful camera work where we go down to Rose's like face. She's crying, and then the camera just goes right into her eyeball. And then it's like, smile, ding, 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 ding. I remember seeing that in theaters. I'm like, oh God. I was like, I'm not ready for what this movie has to offer. But truly one of the greatest cold opens. Again, I put it up there like akin to Evil Dead 2013. I'm assuming you feel the same way. I mean,
yeah,
crazy good intro. What worked? Literally everything for me. And that's why it's hard to talk about and pinpoint specific things. A lot of movies I have issues with, or, there's something here, or I like this, I didn't like that. I literally only don't like one element of the ending. So, do you feel this? I mean, like, where are you at? Do you have any issues other than, like, do you have more than, because literally I have one issue, that's it.
So it's not necessarily an issue. It's more just, even though I said earlier how much I connected with this because of it's so similar to the plot of It Follows in a sense.
Yeah.
I think, and like I said, not really an issue. I'm just like, I wonder if Parker Finn saw It Follows and was like, I got this. I mean, because this does feel like, if I've never saw It Follows, I would think this was 110% original horror film, which it honestly is outside of the small, I'd say, percentage element of between It Follows and like the connection between It Follows and Smile.
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing that didn't work for me. Is I'm watching this and It Follows is just in the back of it, literally following me the entire movie.
Yeah.
So I think because I would have preferred this to be original, which not a big deal. I mean, it's still an amazing movie. I think that's really my only gripe is it reminds me too much of that, even though that's also why I really like it. So it's really a catch-22 of like, what's really my issue?
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily, like you, like I don't really have an issue, but I guess if I really had to sit and nitpick, it'd be the same thing why I loved it.
Well, then we'll talk about that first then, because there's a couple comparisons I have to this movie, because for me it's kind of an amalgamation of 4 movies.
Okay.
The Ring being the strongest influence because
interesting.
They both feature a cursed chain of victims.
Oh, yeah.
The curse spreads through witnessing. Both protagonists try to break the cycle by uncovering the traumatic backstory, and they both have a central metaphor as trauma is like viral and transferable. Plus, they also mention in this movie specifically that no one lasts more than a week, 7 days. The Ring.
You know what? I never even and I think because I was so focused
attached
on
to It Follows.
It Follows.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on The Ring, but now that you said that, holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of the whole 7-day thing.
So yeah, Smile focuses more on like the personal psychological trauma, whereas The Ring is more kind of about mythology and folklore and shit like that. But of course, then we have It Follows as well. They both can have an unrelenting entity, slow, inevitable, a curse passed from person to person, but It Follows deals with sexual trauma, consequences of intimacy, and loss of innocence, where Smile deals with childhood trauma, mental health, and the intergenerational cycles of pain. But also The Babadook. Let me explain.
Oh.
Both films, they explore grief and unprocessed trauma through supernatural metaphors, Babadook, and then what the entity in Smile, whatever it's called. The monster is a manifestation of the psyche. The ending suggests you cannot destroy trauma. Trauma changes how you see loved ones, etc. And then Lights Out, but this is a very small connection. It's just they are both an examination of mental illness and how trauma affects loved ones, self-destruction leading to supernatural consequences, because I'm not going to spoil Lights Out, but there's a whole connection of trauma and one character to another. So those are the four movies that I definitely vibe with. It Follows and The Ring being the strongest for sure. And I think for me, there is enough difference between this and It Follows, but you're both, because It Follows is more of like, the thing trying to, it's walking towards you. But it's very similar to Smile because it can take different shapes and different forms.
Right.
But like the monster in Smile, it's almost like taunting you it's like Pennywise kind of feeding on your fears and your traumas until finally it's like, I'm just going to tear you apart.
So ironically, the reason why I love this movie is also the reason why I don't love it 100%.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just weird.
Catch
That's just
22.
Weird. But I didn't even, like you said, The Ring, Babadook never even entered my brain watching this. Like, to be fair, it's been probably a good 5 or 6 years since I've seen Babadook anyway, so that's probably why, but that's not the point. The point, I didn't even, like, but as you were talking, I was like, holy shit, you're 100% correct.
Yeah, those are the four movies I totally think it kind of pulls from.
And there's nothing wrong with finding inspiration from movies at all.
No, because I still think by all accounts, even though it's pulling from a few things, it doesn't feel derivative, and it also feels just so fresh.
Right.
I mean,
like I said,
so fresh.
Like, even though like I mentioned, it's not original, but it feels so fresh. It feels like something we haven't seen before, even though clearly we have in a sense.
In a sense. So some of the themes I picked up on here that because I've watched this so many times. Smile uses trauma, obviously, as some sort of like a contagion. The central metaphor is that trauma spreads.
Right.
Not by choice, but by being witnessed from one person to the next. The entity is transferring... the entity transfers through someone seeing the suicide of the previous host, and they kind of go down that chain in the movie until they get to the one guy who survived.
That one guy.
And I'm still going to say it again. I want to see that fucking prequel with the chain in Mexico, maybe one day.
I would love it if the potential third one is a prequel.
That would be great. Yeah, because I don't know how they would make a third one with the ending of the second one. I mean, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's like that is the scope just opens up so much.
Well, I mean,
it would be
without giving it away. The second one is literally the first one with somebody else. But I mean,
but a lot more witnesses.
Well, yeah, a lot more, of course. So if they did a third one, it would just probably be the same. It'd just be a rehash. So I think to not overdo your franchise, a prequel for your third one, just like what Insidious did.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a prequel would be, and if you decide to do a fourth one, then make another sequel.
Make a mass chaos movie.
Right, because 3 sequels of literally the same thing over and over again will get tiring to all your viewers. Even though the first and the second one were absolutely they were great, they made great money. After a while, it does get tiring to see the same thing over and over, especially when it's something like this.
Yeah, they managed to do something. They still got me in Smile 2.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, you fuckers.
Dude, Smile 2 definitely got me for sure.
So many times.
But I would prefer, if a third one does happen, it be some type of prequel.
I think the difference too, between, and I think the first smile is a little bit more brilliant with having a therapist, having this happen to a therapist who is dealing with people seeing things and then actually experiencing them. Because like okay, now I'm in my patient's shoes, but I do like the pop star element, but I still think
because stress of pop star life can get to you. There's a lot of we're not going to get into that, but there's a lot more. They do a really good job at making you feel that you're there with them, and then this feels like real life.
This is real life drama. So I'd say that the film argues that unprocessed trauma doesn't stay with just one person, but it can radiate outwards and deeply affect anybody around them, and that's very prevalent in this movie. Let's see here. The kind of there's a facade of like functionality in this. Like every character in the film hides behind a smile, literal or metaphorical. Rose is a therapist, obviously, someone trained to help others, but she carries fractures she refuses to face. Her mother being the biggest one.
Yep.
And the film, the film critiques professional environments that expect emotional perfection while kind of discouraging vulnerability. And the unnerving smile becomes a symbol for fake happiness, social pressure to appear fine, and also emotional suppression. Like, simply put, smile equals mask. Like, that's what I do. A lot of the times I have to mask around people. So I totally picked up on that. I'm like, yeah, this whole facade of just acting like you're fine when you're not. And even in the movie too, there's that moment when Rose is putting on makeup and she's sitting there trying to smile like she's normal, and I'm like, God, I've done that before. Just put on a brave face, everything's fine. So one of the biggest parts of Rose's downfall is I guess a big driver of her downfall is the isolation, because no one believes her. And the more she tries to explain herself, the worse she looks. She literally looks like one of her patients.
Right.
So it's this weird spot you're put in when you're actually experiencing things, and because you haven't confronted the things in your past. And I mean, for her, it's like, how is it real for her, or is it just she's just experiencing the trauma from, because she says at one point, she's like, I think I'm just having echoes of what happened, like with the patient in front of me. So it's like, I wonder if she thinks this is all real, or if like until the ending scene in the house.
I was gonna say until the end, but one of my favorite things about this movie is the way they do a scene and then they redo a scene by showing you that the first scene was not real. That was all like in her head. Psyche, or a phone call was not actually a phone call. It just was in her head. So I think they do that balance of what's real and what's not real pretty well.
And I think the first time that me as an audience member knew it was real and not just her experiencing hallucinations or fractures from what happened was the birthday party scene.
Yes.
That's the moment. That's the moment where I'm like, oh shit,
that's real,
because everyone is reacting like this is real, and then the aftermath of that is her sister doesn't want to talk to her. I was like, okay, so that happened. She clearly killed her cat. I think this thing is real, because they do such a good job of, like, the phone call. That is one of my favorite fucking things in this movie. Is when she gets a phone call because the alarm goes off. She gets a phone call from the security company, and they're like, "Is everything okay?" Yeah. She's like, "Are you sure? Are you alone?" And she's like, "Yeah." Are you sure? And I was like, I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it.
Right, because.
And then she's like, "What?" She's like, Are you sure you didn't let something inside, Rose? And then look behind you, and I'm like, oh. And then there's nothing even there.
Right.
Just the thought of something behind her had me so skeeved out. And then boom, the phone rings again, and she's like, oh. That was a fake conversation.
Or the phone one I was referring to
because there's two.
Yeah, the one where she talks to her therapist, and her therapist is also calling her on the phone, talking to her, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then you get that creepy ass fucking smile.
Dude, they do the same fucking scare twice, and I fell
and it gets you both.
And it gets you both fucking times. It's nuts.
Clowns, both of us.
It's nuts. That didn't even cross my mind, because I was like, there's a person right here.
And I think because of the length, they don't just do it like repeatedly. Like, you do it at like the first like 20 minutes of the movie and like the last 30 minutes of the movie. So like, and the movie's 2 hours, so you have a good like hour and a half in between each one.
Right.
You forget it even happened. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah. So this film really does it uses this supernatural entity, whatever, to explore like how society dismisses mental health struggles because everyone's just dismissing her.
Yep.
Even her therapist is like, let's avoid any self-diagnosis. But it's also like kind of a commentary on how people experiencing crisis, they're seen as dangerous or unstable, because it's so difficult to describe what you're going through. And the fact that she even tried to begin with was actually kind of brave of her, because she knew she was going to sound crazy. Like, she knew she was going to sound crazy, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? I can't just not talk about this. I have to figure out what the hell's going on.
Right.
So something this might be more of a theory-ish, but I think one of Rose's like deepest fears isn't really necessarily the monster itself that's coming after her, but it's becoming like her mother, because and it's even brought up a couple times. Her fiance at the time was like, I looked into the problems with your mom and they can be hereditary. And then her sister at one point says, you're acting just like mom. So I think it's kind of an unsaid thing in the film, but I feel like that's her biggest fear. She doesn't want to become crazy like her mom and then end up, taking her own life, which I mean, she still does in the movie. So it's almost like this really weird, it's just like it's weird how it happens, but the entity forces her to confront the idea that like unresolved trauma can turn you into something you're very afraid of, and someone who harms others emotionally, psychologically, or indirectly. And I think that's just her biggest fear, is not wanting to die like her mom did. I mean, it's not even stated, but it's assumed that she overdosed on pills because she's lying there in the bed with throw up and there's a bunch of pill bottles next to her. So that's well,
I believe they did say that she killed herself.
Okay, yeah. So she overdosed. Yeah,
I watched it last night. I don't remember nothing.
Yeah. Well, there's some things I can't necessarily like remember.
Right, but they don't indirectly say that she overdosed on pills, or
but she
even
did.
when they show her like visually at the end, you don't necessarily see what you think you would. I mean, you see certain visual cues that would give you that assumption.
Well, and she tries a lot of things too, right? Like, she tries logic to figure it out. That doesn't work. She tries to get medication,
right,
which doesn't work.
She literally tries everything but killing herself, pretty much.
Yeah, she tries to avoid it, and then she tries to isolate herself in that house.
And that didn't even work.
And then she's basically like forced to confront it, but then she also tried, violence as well. And that was a scene that was in her head. She thought she was killing that guy, but she wasn't. So it's like none of that works because trauma can't just be eliminated by brute force.
Right.
You have to really figure out how to move past things.
And sometimes, sadly, the reality is your only option is to kill yourself. It sucks.
Well,
to be honest,
I don't think that's what the movie's saying.
No, I'm not saying that's what the movie's saying. No, what I'm saying, reality.
Oh, reality.
Reality.
Yeah.
Like a reality check is sometimes
people,
that's where you think that's your only option.
Been there.
Right. You and me both.
Talked about that on the episode, our bonus episode in March with the director of Last Exorcism. Oh my God, I can't remember his name right now. I'm so sorry.
I mean, case in point, bring in real life, Robin Williams.
Yeah, exactly. One of the happiest guys.
People. Like, you wouldn't like, and
never.
That's what he did. Like, what the fuck?
Chester Bennington. Yeah.
And it's honestly, just real quick, just we're on that topic. It will always haunt me, Chester Bennington's on like purposely more than anything, because they literally released like a couple of days after they announced his death, they released the last picture he took before like the night of his death, and it was him with smiling with his family.
Yep.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this picture shows somebody super happy with his like 2 or 3 kids and his wife, and then literally that same night, and in that smile, he knew exactly what he was going to do. Not an hour later, like it's haunting to think that like you said, like you could be happy, but in your head you're absolutely not. So you gotta just put a facade,
and
put on
that's
mask.
literally what this movie is the kind of a metaphor for.
100%
is masking with the smile. So some of the symbolism too, obviously the smile itself, the biggest thing, it's funny because it's like something that is used to be happy. But in this movie, it's unnerving as shit.
Right.
So they take something that's typically, meant to be happy and make it this very creepy thing. A smile hides, can hide emotional distress, mirroring how people often are pressured to put on a happy face, it can represent false wellness, like you were just talking about with Chester Bennington, social masking, and the pressure to appear okay even when you're breaking down on the inside.
Right.
So that's what I think this movie does, at least for me. That's like I said, and these are things I picked up on. If this is what the intention was, I have no idea, but this is how I'm relating to the movie, just because of obviously I didn't see my parents die in front of me, but I have a lot of different traumas in my life, and that's what was prevalent to me is all the stuff I'm talking about. Something I loved about the monster, though, is when they fully reveal this monster, because it's Rose's mother at first, but obviously taller and more ugly. Right. But when the full creature is revealed, it's just this stack of faces and mouths. It's like an amalgamation of all the people it's consumed, which to me represents accumulated trauma. The way traumatic memories kind of layer over each other. But that ending is literally like that scene. There's a specific sound that they make at the end of that scene when she's almost like bowing down to it when she gets on her knees and her arms are out. Yeah. And then they cut to that wide shot where the creature's crawling into her mouth. And it's this like really weird wobbly sound. And it is one of the most cinematic shots of the entire movie. And if I can find it, I'm going to insert it here. And if I can't find it, then enjoy that silence. But I just love the reveal of it actually having some sort of like corporeal form, because I just thought it was going to be a person killing. I didn't really know how it was going to end, but when it rips off that face and it's just faces upon faces and rows of teeth, I was like, this is like really fucking creepy, and I hate all of this. And then it just crawls into her fucking mouth, but it's really cool. Of course, you don't see the whole thing because that would have been silly. And it's kind of the reversal of what happens to someone in Smile 2. The creature crawls out of someone in Smile 2, which I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if you picked up on.
I did.
It was like the reversal of that.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was done intentionally.
I feel like it was. I feel like it had to have been. There's a lot of other things though too. Mirrors and reflections are one of the big things I noticed. Rose is seeing warped versions of herself and reflections, and I feel like she's losing her identity this whole time. The stress over this clearly is causing her to disassociate as much as possible. Trauma can really reframe how you see yourself.
And you actually do see that throughout the movie, because when you first are introduced to her character, she's well dressed. She's got like a button-down shirt with she
looks professional.
Which she's at work, but by the end, she looks like a homeless person.
Oh my god, she looks insane.
And it's throughout you get small little like wardrobe changes, downgrade wardrobe changes throughout the movie. So that is very prevalent in the way that she sees and carries herself from the beginning of the movie to the end. And
it's funny because, of what I just said, it's like she's losing her identity, but we even see that as the audience, like she doesn't even look like herself anymore.
Not at all.
So
like she went from all dolled up, like professional with makeup, to, like I said, homeless, no makeup, like her hair's a mess. Like she just looks like she woke up and just decided that's how she's going to look.
This is me.
This is how it's happening.
So there's just some things I kind of picked up on, because that's what I spent most of my time doing watching this movie, is not really paying attention to exactly what was happening, but trying to picking up a little bit more of the underlying themes and stuff like that. Because, like I said, it's hard for me to be like, I like this, I like that. I liked it all. It was so good. But one last thing I'll say is I think this movie is just utterly fantastic at throwing you off with its scares. Because even though it vibes like a few movies, it's kind of uncharted territory at the same time when it comes to horror movies. It's such a fresh idea while feeling familiar. Like I said, it vibes like The Ring and It Follows, but in a very vague sense. And, once Rose's hallucinations progress, the more unpredictable I feel the movie gets, because like I said, the phone one throws you off. The cat is like, oh fuck. I really wish they didn't spoil the sister's head spinning in the trailer.
Yeah, that
would have been so great to see.
That would have been better if I never saw it in the trailer.
Right,
sure.
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, there was so much other horrific shit that was almost mild.
Right.
But yeah, so the more the movie goes on, the more unpredictable it gets. And I find that fascinating because they throw you off so many times. You're like, well, I can't even figure this movie out. I'm going to stop trying to figure this movie out. So, anything you'd like to highlight real quick? Anything specific, maybe like a specific scene? We're about to get to horror moments here in a second, but
no, I mean, I think we just pretty much discussed all of it.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's talk about the ending because the ending works into what didn't work for me.
Okay.
So I mean, for me, Rose's death is kind of symbolic of trauma. Winning. When left unprocessed, she does attempt to confront it by destroying it, but she really needed to work on kind of integrating it. Like I said, trauma can't be killed, outrun, medicated. It cannot be ignored. The entity defeats her because her approach is flawed. But, Rose commits suicide in front of Joel. It's not just a shocking ending, but it reinforces what I've been saying about this movie is that trauma, when untreated, doesn't die with you. It just spreads to the people closest to you. And that's how this monster goes around from person to person. So Joel's trauma begins with witnessing her death, completing the symbolic cycle of everything that I've been talking about. But I love the ending, right? Because it mirrors the opening. Trauma cycles until someone breaks it, and Rose couldn't. It's kind of a cautionary tale in a way. You got to tend to your wounds, or they will tend to you. So what didn't work for me though is the fact that it's so hard to explain. Like, it's a commentary on you have to tend to your trauma or else it will get you. But it also felt like, well, geez, she couldn't escape her trauma and killed herself. So I was kind of upset with that because how I read it the first time walking out of the theater, I was like, okay, so trauma's just gonna kill me one day. I didn't and I know that's probably not the tone they were going for, but that's exactly how Gabby and I took it. We were like, so I guess you can never outrun your trauma. That's just it. So that's really my only gripe, is that it can be taken a lot of ways, and that's how I took it and kind of still take it.
So. Which is fair because we went into with Robin Williams and stuff. Clearly, that's reality.
It's reality. Yeah.
So maybe Parker Finn was trying to go for more of a realistic ending.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's not everybody. Like, not everybody is going to kill themselves because they can't escape their trauma.
Well, and in this case, she technically was possessed when she killed herself because the thing.
And for all we know, he tried a bunch of different things that just didn't seem to work, and this was the best thing to work to quote unquote pass it, because not saying it, but the opening of Smile 2 is directly correlated with the ending of Smile 1.
Well, I also and I think too, completely outside of theming and tone of the ending, I think that they had to end it this way because it connects it to the beginning of how everything started, and it also sets it up for a sequel.
Right.
So I think really it's like
I said,
they
it might have been the only thing that worked.
Yeah, but it's the only thing that works to do the things I was saying. But yeah, when me and Gabby or Gabby and I were both like, man, it kind of just feels like you can never outrun trauma. But I get it from a movie making perspective as well. So that's my only gripe with it. Your only gripe was really the Hole That Follows connection, right?
Right.
So that's the ending. Hot take, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's my one what didn't work. Hot take for me is I think this movie is a fucking masterpiece. A 2.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd is insane to me. I cannot believe it is that low. This movie is fucking brilliant. I love it. And then Smile 2 comes out and everyone's like, oh, it's so much better than the first one. I think they're equal. Honestly, I think they're equal. I think they're equal.
Even though I will say this, the second one scared the shit out of me more than the first.
Same. Oh, yeah.
But for my rating purposes, they're both equal.
They're both equal. So that's my hot take is It's just like Terrifier 1 and 2. I love the first Terrifier, and it's got a 2.4. No one really liked it. And then 2 comes out, and they're like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, no, it's the first one is so much. So it's weird. It's like one movie comes out that sets up a universe, and then the second one, everyone jumps on the bandwagon, and they just love that one more. No shade to Smile 2 at all. Like I said, they're equal, but I just don't think it's not leaps and bounds better than the first one. I'm shocked this only has a 2.8 out of 5. I think it's a masterpiece.
I think also maybe the connections that people can make between Smile 1 and 2. 2 is a little bit more easier to follow with connecting stuff like this. Like we went into a lot of shit with this movie that I guarantee you most people did not even think of. Trauma-based one. Yeah, it's a movie based on trauma, sure. We can all get that.
Yeah.
But like the
maybe Smile 2 was just more like you said, more relatable.
I was gonna say more relatable because it was dealing with a pop star, which, nowadays we got TikTok, Taylor Swift, we got pop stars versus I feel like the first one was more more down to earth. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for.
I just think it was based more heavily in trauma, and not everyone has trauma.
That's true.
Which I found was crazy. I was like, I was talking to my therapist. I'm like, yes, some people just don't have that. I'm like, well, that must be nice.
Right. How's that?
How is that? And I think that's why I really engaged with the first one so well, because I'm like, God, I mean, obviously I haven't experienced trauma is trauma at the end of the day. So obviously certain things are worse, like seeing your mother die.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I picked up on so much of the things, because I was like, I know exactly what you're going through, girl. But I also related to Riley, right? Sky Riley.
Yeah.
Her character, because she, I think it was pills for her. Maybe it was alcohol, but she was chugging those waters. And the entire time I was watching this movie, I was like, oh, for the love of God, if this monster is tricking her into thinking she's drinking water, but she's drinking...
Oh, that would have been crazy.
I know, I was like, please don't break your sobriety. And she never did through the movie. As a recovering alcoholic, like 18 months now, I was like, or almost 18 months, I was like, thank you, movie, for not letting her break her sobriety. She still stood true to her sobriety, but, monsters.
Right.
Let's see. I mean... Hooked for me, this is one of the rare instances where I was hooked from the Paramount logo. I was like, yep.
I was hooked from the from the opening scene.
Yeah, cold open, that makes sense.
Yeah, cold open definitely got me hooked.
Even though I had my qualms with the ending, I've never lost. I don't have time to be lost. I'm stressed, okay? I'm never, I'll never recover. So horror moment for me, we've actually touched on both of them. It was the first phone call. Which is funny because there's a lot of horrific imagery, but that phone call, when I remember seeing it in theaters, and she was like, "Are you sure?" And it just chills from head to toe. And then again, when they get you with the second one, I was like, "How do they do this twice?" You're repeating scares, but they're still
and it's working.
But they're still fresh. What about you? Do you have a horror moment?
I mean, we did talk about it, and it's actually basically what you said. But as a whole, the psych out scenes, all the psych out scenes, like something happens and all of a sudden something else happens. I'm like, okay, because usually that doesn't work for me. Usually I'm usually like, oh, okay, like I can see coming a mile away. I didn't see any of these coming a mile away. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, and you actually reminded me, we got to talk about the fake out ending, because I love a good fake out.
Right, yes.
Oh, Daniel Stamm, random, was the director of The Last Exorcism. Just came to me. ADHD is fun. The fake out ending. We recently covered a movie that had a fake out ending, and I'm struggling to think about it, but I love that ending so fucking much, because she's in there, she confronts this horrific gangly creature, smashes it over the head with the lantern, house burns down, she drives to Kyle Gallner's apartment, can't remember his name, and then they're having a conversation.
Joel.
Joel. He's like, yeah, you can stay here, it's no problem, blah, 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 and he's got his arms crossed, and then he's sitting there for a second, kind of looking down, and he's like, I'll stay with you forever. And I was like, no! I was like, no, there's no way! And she runs out of his house and then ends up being outside of her childhood home. It's not on fire. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. So
that was the biggest fucking...
So that as a whole is what my horror moment, because I was like...
So good.
Because it got me every time. I'm like, am I that gullible? Am I that dumb? Or is this just that good?
No, it's that good. It's that smart, because you expect the unexpected, but I can't.
Right.
Everything's unexpected, and I don't know what we're doing.
Usually when movies rehash the same scares over and over again, it does not work. But the way they
do it,
they space it out in this movie, you forget about it because you're worried about some other shit that's going on. Then they do it again, like, oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Damn it.
And I think, and that's what maybe people thought were predictable with the scares.
Which is fair.
But for me, I'm so locked in because what's happening visually, my brain's trying to process everything that's happening. I'm not thinking about, like I like I told you, I stopped trying to predict.
Right.
And I just sat there like, where are we going?
And I think at this point, I'm so desensitized by horror films, I don't get scared. But when you scare me in a movie, fuck you.
Exactly.
But like you got like there are 3 movies in the past 20 years that have actually scared the shit out of me and still do to this day. Sinister.
Oh yeah.
Which according to science is still the scariest movie of all time.
According to Heartbeats.
Which is fair.
Fair.
That lawnmower scene.
Never recover.
Yeah. So Sinister, Smile, and Smile 2. Dude, I was I didn't see Smile 2 with you, but when I saw it, it was an empty-ish theater, but I still saw it in Dolby, but I saw it later at night. Why? I don't know. It was dumb. But it was like maybe 4 of us in there, and I just felt, I've never felt more scared in my life watching some of the shit in there.
I had to look at because Gabby, like, not jumped, but she jumped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I looked at her, I was like, are you okay? She's like, no.
No, I'm not. Call my therapist immediately.
So there aren't really many kills. You've got Laura in the beginning, you've got Rose at the end, but I'll go with the guy who stabs himself with the shears that you watch on the video.
Because you visually see it, so he's dead.
Yeah, and he just blood goes everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus. So
right.
Let's just go with that. My favorite character. This is my favorite character. Nurse Wanda. And it's because of one line. That one line.
I'm single, though.
Yeah, she's like, looks at Joel. She's like, I'm single. I'm like, okay, Wanda. Okay, want to play doctor later?
Like, at first, you thought she was just going to be that, like, all right, mind your business, bitch. But actually, she was like, she's married. Yeah. But I'm not. Let's do this.
Let's do. I'm ready to go.
My favorite.
You don't say no to an attractive nurse who's
right.
Like you just don't.
Right. She's sitting there all like serious face too. Like she didn't break it all.
She was not joking.
Nope.
Yes, ma'am. Did you have a favorite character?
I'd say Joel because like he kept
10 out of 10
because he honestly kept us cool the entire time, even though he didn't understand what the fuck was going on until literally the very end, and he probably still had no idea what was going on. When what he visually saw at the end and how it like closed out.
There's also that scene I really love when he was like, it's my day off.
Right. It's like my only day off. And he's like, fine, I'll do it.
Fine, I got you.
You're a good guy, bro.
Lee's favorite character is fucking Greg. He's such a fucking yes man.
Oh, yeah.
He's the worst.
The voice.
He is giving her advice on what to do with her family home. And like, why do you want to work in that gross hospital? You could probably get like, why are you not going to get filthy rich if you're a doctor? Shut the fuck up, Greg.
Right.
And that's my favorite line is when she goes, can you guys just shut the fuck up? I'm like, that's the one line I laugh at because I'm like real. Real.
So same with character as a whole.
Fuck
but
Greg.
But I also not a fan of Rose's fiance.
Yeah, because he's with her at first, but then immediately gets not immediately, but eventually just like house calls the therapist.
I get being skeptical about certain things and not at first being on board. Sure, I get that because, you hear some shit that you don't believe in or whatever. You're going to be like, what the fuck? No. But as a spouse or significant others, whatever, like you should still give in to the possibility that he or she is telling the truth, or even if he or she is crazy, support that person. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, do your best.
Even if it's so far-fetched, believe in her.
Yeah.
And even at the end of the day, if it still ends up being bullshit and she just had a delusion, at the end of the day,
you're still
knowing
there.
You have somebody that supports you, regardless if you're delusional or not, is the support system everybody needs.
Exactly.
And he was not that support system.
No.
So and my favorite line is during the fight in the house when she comes home and he's sitting there with the therapist and she realizes she's not getting that support. She's like, why am I even with you?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
there
good
you go,
for
girl.
you. Good for you,
girl.
Because I was thinking the same fucking thing. Why are you with this guy who's not supporting you literally at all?
At all. All right, my review on Letterboxd, if I didn't shamelessly plug my own show, would be the best part of this movie is that I couldn't have been further from smiling. Oh, goodness. All right, let's see here. Post-review. Shit, if my mouse will scroll. All right, taglines. Once you see it, it's too late. Pass it on. The new face of fear, and what makes you smile. Fun things of trivia here. A couple of days before the September 30th, 2022 release, I didn't realize they were actors from the film, but they showed up at various baseball games, sitting behind home plate and, dead still and smiling. That was one of the greatest marketing campaigns. So great.
That was so good.
The smiles in the film are all natural and not enhanced with visual effects. The studio even asked if they could be tweaked, but Parker Finn stuck to his guns as he wanted them to be grounded in their creepiness. Looking at you, what was that movie with the creepy smile?
Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare, yeah. Look at you, Truth or Dare.
Gosh.
This was actually supposed to go to Paramount Plus. Could you imagine the I bet you they're sitting back in their chair like, thank God we didn't do that. Most profitable horror movie of the year.
Yeah.
In addition to being difficult to design and execute, the overhead shot of the ambulance arriving that then pans up to enter the hospital room was meant to suggest something ominous coming for Rose. Several shots rotate upside down to reinforce that the conventional concept of a smile as an expression or happiness or politeness instead turns on its head and becomes a sadistic expression of evil. Goofs. I love these are kind of petty but also kind of real at the same time. So Rose is clearly interviewing a psychotic patient alone in a closed room, and she is not restrained in any way. There's plenty of potentially dangerous items lying around, and the only way to call for help is a red phone on the wall, the far end of the room. So the patient slowly manages to cut her own throat with a piece of broken vase, and security arrives after she's fully bled out. In reality, this would have been seen as negligence, both on part of the doctor and the hospital. And after the traumatic experience, the hospital lets Rose work until she has a nervous breakdown and doesn't provide her with any counseling.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Yeah. Because eventually he's like, you're going to take a paid week. Rated 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Not too bad. Again, 2.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It does have a certified fresh, the one time I'm agreeing with Rotten Tomatoes, of 80% on the tomato meter and a 77% audience score. So pretty equal there. What did you give this, Spencer?
4.5.
That is what I gave it, 4.5 out of 5. I was not surprised. This would be a Frightmare certified slap. Similar movies according to Letterboxd, we have Hereditary, The Ring, Lights Out, Paranormal Activity, and Oculus. Hey, that's funny. 2 of the movies I mentioned. Similar movies according to IMDb, we have Smile, Talk to Me, Us, Barbarian, and Get Out. Funny reviews.
Similar movies according to IMDb for Smile is Smile.
Smile 2. Did I not say Smile 2?
No, it's just a Smile.
I know, but I thought I said...
Maybe you did. I didn't hear it.
Smile as well.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm just kidding. That's what it should. That's what the sequel should be.
Yeah. Smile as well.
Smile as well. Funny reviews. You got any?
Oh yeah. Actually, I do because I remembered this time.
Boom. Let's do it.
All right. So I'm gonna go in reverse because I have 4. 3 out of 4 are bad. So I'm gonna go with the good one first.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So this was 4 stars. I'm so paranoid now. Nobody fucking smile at me ever again. For real though.
3 stars from Haunted Hippie. The real trauma was the trauma we traumaed along the trauma.
Oh, fuck. I got that one, too. Son of a bitch.
I thought you said you were going good to bad. 3 stars is good.
Yeah, but I started with 4 stars.
Oh, okay.
That would have been my next one.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to repeat myself. All right. So 2.5.
Okay.
Shit follows.
Shit follows.
Which I guess, if you didn't like this, like there's the It Follows connection.
No, yeah, I love that. And that's probably why, 4.5 stars from Jay. Once again, A-Train is useless.
Yes, I was going to add that too, and I was like, but that's true. It's true, though. All right, and this is my last one because you took my other one.
Sorry.
2 stars. Takes the phrase, would it kill you to smile, a bit too seriously. It's good.
3 stars from St. Judas Fonda. Killing myself in front of you to change the trajectory of your lives forever. And last, my favorite one. 3 stars from Nat. Literally almost died because I choked on a bunch of crunch during the
I was going to add that too. It's so good. That was so good.
Goodness. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher, Blue Sky Threads, and YouTube at Frightmare's Podcast. Although I just realized I have not posted on Blue Sky in months, so I guess don't follow me there. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. JK. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. You are... Slafferman. Be sure to follow our sister podcast, The Shameless Picture Show, and also check out the Dead-Eyed Millennial podcast as well. Next week is going to be one hell of an episode because Gabby and my friends from the now named 1 Week Rental, previously the Load Bearing Beams podcast, Matt and Lacey, will be joining us. There will be 4 people on a show, which I've never done before. It's going to be crazy, but we'll be doing Knock at the Cabin from 2023. So until then, stay tuned and
stay spooky.